Welcome to this audio-described introduction to a short film by Hayley Williams-Hindle entitled In Praise of Fidgeting, Portraits over Zoom. The full audio-described film follows these introductory notes. The 25-minute film has two distinct parts. During the first part, on a deep purplish-pink background, a lime-green spectrogram illustrates the musical accompaniment. The dancing patterns stem from a static horizontal dashed line across the middle of the screen, with different dashes stretching vertically up and down at different times, morphing into elongated ovals. The shapes on the left stretch during the lower notes, the ones on the right during the higher notes, different combinations for different chords and harmonies. The spectrogram continues for the duration of the music, around 6 minutes, with big dramatic stretches accompanying the loudest parts and small simmering bubbles during the quieter moments. During the second part of the film, a series of paintings and sketches accompanies Hayley's narration. They are portraits of men and women, one face per image. The paintings have expressive watercolour brushstrokes, some with features clearly defined, others more suggestive. Often, cheeks and foreheads are not filled in with paint, but roughly outlined on the pale white paper. The colour palette used for facial features is warm, with pinks, oranges, browns and yellows, alongside less frequent use of blue and green tones. Some of the paintings have details embellished with crayons, giving an opaque mottled texture which contrasts with the more washed-out transparent watercolours. The sketches are also of faces, some detailed but mostly outlines traced from digital images, with telltale lines showing how the whole picture has been drawn without lifting pen from paper. These are done in biro and become increasingly stylised, with features missing from faces and no shading, giving them a flat and blockish appearance, somewhat reminiscent of cubism. Audio description of specific paintings and drawings as they appear is included in this soundtrack from 6 minutes onwards. The film also contains periods of blackness with only the soundtrack between the various images. In Praise of Fidgeting, Portraits over Zoom by Hayley Williams-Hindle. Caption: Music, Violin Concerto in D, Third Movement by Tchaikovsky. You are invited to experience the music with paper and something to mark with. Record your responses to the sound, the movement and colour on screen in whatever way feels most instinctive.
E, D, H, D. That stands for disorder.
Watercolour painting of a face framed with paint streaks.
Attention. Deficit. Hyperactivity. Disorder.
Orange, pink, brown, blue.
Disordered.
Another portrait.
It's a brain missing a chemical, actually. Dopamine.
A bald-headed man.
That's a chemical that helps you to do what you need to do when you need to do it. And if you haven't got that magic stuff, then your brain is wired for all the shiny things and all the bright things and all the impulsive things.
A square-jawed face.
And all the immediate things.
Black and burgundy brushstrokes. Large glasses, cheeks sag.
That piece of music reminds me of my brain, and it's a thrilling ride. And it's a thrilling ride, and it's immediate.
A man with yellow eyes and a grey-blue moustache. He peers over his glasses.
And it's no fun to be asked to slow down, to sit still, to pay attention, to look in one place, to look you in the eye.
A painted eye framed by black glasses and swirling colours.
Because there's too many shiny things. And my brain wants to race.
A woman.
At 100 miles an hour.
Sweeping black and yellow marks.
And I'm one of many. Maybe 1 in 20 people.
Blackish outline with yellow splashes, chin rests on knuckles.
When I'm on that high, when I'm on that race, it doesn't feel like a disorder. It feels like the most exhilarating roller coaster.
The same eyes and nose up close, splashes of brown and peach against bright white.
And that tingle. And when your stomach leaves the floor and does a flip before it lands again.
A portrait in warm peach tones.
And nothing comes fast enough.
A young woman's face framed by blue hair with a neat centre parting. Harsh black lines, an older man.
But sometimes, when we're grown up at least, we have to slow down.
Faces sketched in biro on lined paper.
To the pace of the world. Because the world wants to see us go slow. To prove that we're giving our attention and our sole focus to the matter at hand. Maybe you knit.
Tracing of a man with wavy hair.
Or maybe you scribble.
Labelled John Kelly.
Or maybe you bite your nails or tap your feet on the floor or scroll endlessly on your phone.
Tracing labelled Jamie.
You can't do those in face-to-face meetings, but online this year with Zoom and Skype, and you can sit in your slippers and put a filter on the background or turn your camera off.
Nothing. Black.
And you can do those things.
A fiery red-haired young man.
And that's freeing for a brain that needs input. So,
Tracing labelled Erica.
I want to celebrate what it means to move, to give a quick brain what it needs around the edges, so that the middle can slow enough to take in the matter at hand.
One continuous thin line loosely outlines a woman's shoulders, hair, chin, mouth and nose.
What I've been doing is drawing impulsively.
One eye is an oval, the other shown only by an angular eyebrow.
I'm crippled with the anxiety of good enough or expectation or detail. But here I can see and stare at the soul in front of me. I can't do that in real life. That's verboten. That's rude. I've learnt that you cannot stare.
A beady eye in colour between more tracings.
But your face is fascinating to me. Your eyes hold too much information, but your face is fascinating to me. And I want to look at it and around it and let my hands process what they see without reason or intellect. Immediate movement, shape and form, and the suggestion of who you are, emotion on that flat screen in front of me. So I've stolen my children's art sets and their pencils and their paper. And I'm tracing the forms of the lives on the screen, sometimes in one line, beginning to end, a complete person. And the pressure isn't good, it doesn't stand up to scrutiny, it's uneven, and it shows the hesitancy that I feel when I allow myself to be seen, even on paper. But it's real. And if I allow myself to be, to move, to feel, to express, to respond, then I can stay calm in the middle.
Outline of a cat lying down.
And I can attend in the way that you need me to, that I want to. So here, attention, deficit,
Half of a face with all of a fringe.
hyper activity, disordered, maybe, if you need me to cue my interest in your narrow way, by fixing my gaze on you, on your eyes, by holding my hand still in my lap,
Wobbly, broken lines, a man with full lips and big glasses.
by pausing my body and willing it to stop, to
Brief red and black swirling patterns among changing portraits.
but I'm sitting on a bed of fire ants, and it's painful to stop. It's painful to remain. And sometimes I'm in deficit, and I cannot start, initiate, begin. I know what needs to be done, but I cannot.
A nose outline between one scribbled eye and half a mouth.
And in those moments where
a woman's mouth in full colour, red lips pursed.
That shot of dopamine is lacking to start, then adrenaline can take its place, and if you shout at me, if you give me a sense of urgency or need or immediacy, or that chemical races to fill the gap, and I move, and I'm compelled.
A forehead, hair swept back, mottled brown and black crayon.
And panic is a powerful drug, and deadlines are a powerful drug, and it's not the way that we're taught to be, to plan, to measure, and to
a face with eyes closed,
feel, and to plot, and to moderate. And that's a lot of work, and it's more than I can will myself to do. And so I wait for the waves of hyper to come, and I sit in the space where you want me to be measured, and I temper my edges with my pen, and I trace, I record the movement and the excitement.
Sketch of a round-faced woman staring straight ahead in dark green ink with details accented in red.
And so it's witnessed the pace of me, the pace of me, the pace of me, the pace of me, the pace of me. And when I can't move, the pace of me is there, and it testifies to the energy that I cannot apportion equally to my days and my hours and my moments. I am not lazy. I do not have a deficit of attention. It is concentrated, it is diffuse, it is everywhere and nowhere.
The man from before, with his chin on his knuckles, eyes front.
And it allows me to see the edges and see beyond the edges, and it's a gift. I don't always relish, but it's a gift. And hey, if you need me to to respond in an emergency, in a fire, in a catastrophe, I'm everywhere. I've got it. I can see everything.
The sharply defined eye of a woman with brown hair flashes up, then disappears, crayon over watery paint.
Everything.
Another brown eye with black glasses and a thick eyebrow.
Allow me to move so that I can be still. Allow me to fidget, to express, so that
brownish red lips and a peach cheek in watercolour.
I can be centred and take in the plot and the measure of
the very first face again, close up with no outline. Eyes, nose and mouth become floating paint smears.
your days. And maybe sometimes you can join me in the race. Maybe sometimes you can join me in the sprints and then the rests. Maybe you can see in my lines the excitement that I see in you.
The whole face again.
The excitement that is you, life.
Nothing. Black.
When it's not too much. When it's not too much.
Logos. Coventry City of Culture 2021. Unlimited. Arts Council England.